of the 10th Assembly inauguration on Tuesday. As at the time of filing this report, there will be contest at both chambers of the National Assembly, that's the Senate and the House of Representatives. The coast was clearer for Tajuddin Abbas as two aspirants, Mukhtar Batara and Yusuf Gagdi, stepped down for him yesterday while paying a visit to the president.
Right Honorable Mukhtar Batara, you Right Honorable graciously accepted to step down and endorse the candidature of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas for the speakership of the Federal House of Representatives. The President was quite touched by their gesture, because what binds us together is superior to whatever that divides us. We are one big NTC family, and together we shall cause the reform on Tuesday.
Well, that is for the House of Representatives. For the Senate, the governing party's choice of Senator Godswill Akpabio and Senator Jibrin Barau will have to contend with a host of other aspirants. Let's now speak to a former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Bernard Mikko. Thank you for joining us on the program. What exactly do you expect at the inauguration on Tuesday, especially with presiding officer's election?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I think the narratives we have had about the House of Reps, the seeming consensus in the House of Reps, have not been achieved. We've not had any about the Senate. And the events that we look up to as a former member of the National Assembly tomorrow will be very interesting. I have listened to stakeholders talk about the issue of a consensus by forces outside the chambers itself. I think it will be very unfortunate if people begin to set an agenda outside the National Assembly itself for the emergence of principal officers. If you cast your mind back to the period running up to the presidential primaries, we had all these narratives of how a particular aspirant from the north has been crowned, so to say, as the choice of the APC in Nigeria. But again, we also had swiftly by Progressive Governors Forum, APC Governors Forum, saying otherwise, that they would rather prefer, and they took a position behind the current president. I think that is what democracy is all about. Today is June 12th, a day that has been declared as a democracy day, because today, 30 years ago, one of the best free and fairest elections in the history of our country was conducted. And that election was conducted on a Muslim ticket. And of course, you know the anti-democratic forces that set aside that election. And the high point of it today is that one of the victims of the anti-democratic forces 30 years ago is now the president. And I was ecstatic to see him on the national television as president and commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, making that broadcast. I think he understands how the National Assembly works. You, as a senator himself, his wife as a member of the Ninth Senate, he understands what democracy is all about. He understands the issues of fait accompli, which he was a victim in the immediate past elections. So the concept of separation of powers, must be allowed, to play itself out. Interestingly, the two leading candidates, Akpabio and Yare, are all from the APC. And if you look at the antecedents of the whole thing, that presently you have in the three arms of government, you have two arms already in the southern region, and the next arm, it should be balanced. So we look forward towards a balanced federation tomorrow, so that our senators, looking at the situation, will now support Senator Yari to emerge as the next Senate president. Thank you.
They're talking about the election of presiding officers tomorrow, just like the presidential election where many voted along religious and ethnic lines. Do you see that play a factor in the election?
Well, I think we have all, over the years, we have all agreed that we have fault lines within our polity, which is basically religion. We have, if you say religion is going to play a part, why did Abiola today, 30 years ago, why was he elected with a Muslim ticket? I have, during that period, I attended a youth conference in Lagos about violence. And they said we should look beyond the religious sentiments in electing our leaders. And somebody just raised this issue. Oh, that why should he was of the NRC, of the SDP, the same political party as myself that time. And he said, oh, we shouldn't vote for Abiola. I said, look, he said, because he said, I said, we didn't come here, we are coming, we should look at the things that unite us. You see, if you begin to make that point now in our country's history, look at the states, because the federation is a virtual state. The main states, the federating units, are the core development units of our country. So if you look at the states, 36 states including Abuja, there are states where you have principally Christians, from the governor to the last man in the civil service. Have they developed? Have they even implemented their budgets up to 30%? Okay, now look at some of the states in the north, where you have Muslim from governor to the last person. Have they also developed? Okay, look at in the middle belt, where you have a duration of the two, a mixture of either Christian governor or Muslim governor with Christian deputy and vice versa. Have they also developed? That shows you that nobody has taken the statistics that our problem in this country is religion.
So all right, so you're of the view that ethnicity and religion would not play a role in determining who the presiding officers would be. But I'm curious, do you have a preferred candidate among these aspirants?
Because if you look at the role played by progressive governors forum on the north, that even when the national chairman of the party took a position behind a northern candidate, and the other governors said, look, we want a southern candidate for balancing of our country. Today we have a southern president and also a southern chief justice of those two arms. So for me, and for most of the people I've spoken to, my former colleagues who are also in the Senate now, who will be inaugurated tomorrow, they said they are interested in voting for Senator Yari to balance the country.
All right, but then does it mean that having a president who is Muslim, a vice president who is Muslim, I mean, you're in support of having a president of the Senate who is also Muslim? Is that what you're saying?
Look, I said we have identified religion as our fault lines. Let me tell you, the president of the Federal Republic of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a wife. And when we want to talk of religious tolerance, we should look from the families, the values for which we hold, not just coming out on the public, say, oh, we should get a Muslim here, we'll get another Muslim there, or Christians here. These things will not develop our country. Even a Christian, in the last dispensation, we had a Christian vice president. Does it change anything?
There's a criticism, Honorable Mikko, there's a criticism against Senator Yari as being a first-timer. Does and should experience count or not in this decision?
Senator Yari was a member of the House of Reps. He was also a two-time governor. So he has a lot of experience, and he knows his limitations. So I think
then, Honorable Bernard Mikko, a former member of the House of Representatives, thank you so much for talking to us on the program today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Before we go, let's remind you that Tuesday will be another important day in Nigeria's political space when the 10th National Assembly will be inaugurated. The complex is already wearing a new look, and we are looking forward to the event already. We'll see how all of that plays out. But that's our program today. Watch a repeat broadcast at midnight and 6 a.m. on Tuesday. I am Abosede Adeniran Aderemi.